Chiefs Kingdom! Welcome into a brand new episode of the Chiefs Report by Chat Sports. My name is Jackson Durham, and today we are previewing the Week 12 matchup for Kansas City against the Indianapolis Colts. And we've got some enormous news that actually just came out around the time we headed into the studio that's going to have a huge effect on the way this game plays out. Let's get right into this thing. So, like I said off the top, some huge news to discuss. A little bit of huge news around the Kansas City Chiefs that actually came out earlier, and then the enormous news around the Colts that just came out. And we'll get into both of those in the first thing on the show, our Week 12 injury report. But once we're through that, we're going to scout Indianapolis. We got to get ready for this team. They're one of the best in the AFC. And we have to take them down. If we want to make the postseason, guys, we talked about this in our playoff chances video earlier this week. Road starts here. Road starts with a win. So we got to figure out how we do that with our keys to victory section as well after we scout them. And lastly, I'm going to give you guys my prediction for the way this one's going to play out at the end of today's video. But I want to hear your guys' predictions too. I want you to let me know who you think is going to win this game in the comments and what you think is going to be the final score. And I'm going to be going through those comments. I'm going to be responding. And if you get it close, I'm going to shout you out in our instant reaction video on Sunday. So get down there, drop those predictions, and make sure you bring your A-game ball knowledge if you want that shout out. But let's get into the injury report. It's going to be a lot of impact on your prediction, so maybe don't run down there just yet. But on our end of things, Kingsley is going to, or was a limited participant today, did not participate on Wednesday. We're filming on Thursday, but that concussion still seems to be a factor. Wasn't quite able to go full participant yet, but I'm still hoping that we can get him back. Isaiah Pacheco continues to be an interesting situation with that MCL sprain. He was participating in practice today, not in a full fashion, second day in a row that he's been limited, and he's working with a huge brace on his knee. So I'm still kind of coin toss on whether or not we're going to get him. And then the last one, the huge one for us, Xavier Worthy. His ankle is bothering him again. And guys, I know you're sick of hearing about Xavier Worthy injury updates. I'm sick of telling you about Xavier Worthy injury updates. And it's just the ankle, especially, has been a recurring issue for Xavier this season. But obviously, it's not the only injury issue he's had this season. He also had the shoulder issue earlier this year when he collided with Travis Kelce. And I think if Xavier is going to have the type of career that we want him to have in Kansas City, we have to avoid this being a long-term issue. And that comes down to adding some weight and some mass on this frame. That's what I really want to see from Worthy this offseason. These injury issues have continued to plague him this season, and I don't want to see that for him going forward. The type of speed threat that he is, the more and more injuries you take on, especially to your lower body, that can take that away from him, and that takes away the number one thing that makes Xavier special. We want to see him protect his health going forward. And to do that, you might have to put on a little bit of mass without losing that speed. So I feel like that needs to be a offseason priority for Xavier Worthy and the Chiefs' health and training staff. Let's get this guy bigger. Let's get him more healthy. Speaking of healthy, though, Daniel Jones may not be healthy for this game. This is huge, guys. This is the enormous news that I was hinting at the beginning of the video. Daniel Jones, and this is very much out of nowhere. I was preparing this video last night. He was not on their injury report yesterday. And then about 30 minutes before we go into the studio, my phone buzzes. I look down. Daniel Jones is limited at practice today with a calf injury. And to be 100% honest with you guys, that's about all we have at this point. We just know limited with a calf injury. And calf injuries can be connected to Achilles injuries. That's the number one thing that kind of comes to mind in this situation. Not to speculate on what's going on with Daniel Jones too much. Obviously, I'm not saying he's got an Achilles injury, but that is definitely a possibility. We've seen these things go down that road before. And I was talking with our host for Saints as well. This was a similar situation with what happened to Chase Young. He gets on the injury report with a calf injury early this season, ends up missing 5 weeks. These can be devastating. These can be very serious. So definitely something to watch for on Daniel Jones. And I want you guys to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications because if we do get an update on this injury situation, I'm going to be firing out a short in just a few minutes. The quickest updates around Daniel Jones that you can get are right here on the Chiefs Report by Chat Sports. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. But I also want to focus on the other injury situations going on in Indy outside of Daniel Jones. Huge one with a old friend of Kansas City. Charvarius Ward is actually on the injury report as well, but it's kind of positive news for Ward. He's been missing time lately, but playing extremely well when he has been available, and he should be back for Indianapolis this week. That is a big boost for their secondary, and not great news for us. As much as Ward, an old friend of Kansas City, really helped us have some success when he was a Chief, helped the Niners have some success and faced off against us in a Super Bowl, but he's been balling this year. When he's been available for Indianapolis, he has been a genuinely elite corner, and it hasn't been a huge sample size. Just 4 games for him, but an 83 overall coverage grade. When he's targeted, and he's been targeted 16 times, he allows just 4 yards per target, a 71.6 QB rating allowed into his pass or into his coverage. And remember, that's out of 158.3, and he has 3 pass breakups. This is a big get for this secondary. Huge get. They're also expected to get Jalen Carlisle back, another really nice linebacker coming out of Missouri. So 2 big gets for this defense, which is also missing DeForest Buckner. He is on IR, went on IR back in week 9. So a couple notable injury situations for them. Samson Ebukam also a full participant at edge. So a number of things to keep in mind with the Colts from an injury situation. But let's zoom out and talk about the Colts in 2025 on the whole. They have been a very solid team. They've been pretty good. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Sitting on an 8-2 record at this point in the year. They're scoring 32 points per game. They have been really solid. And ultimately, a lot of that is going to come down to Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor, who is pacing nearly a 2,000-yard season right now, has been the engine of Indianapolis this season. This guy is a bona fide MVP candidate. He is one of the top 5 by odds for the MVP award this season. And when you look at the numbers, they're just kind of hard to believe. 189 carries, over 1,100 yards in just 10 games, and a whopping 15 touchdowns. 6 yards per carry on that. So extremely efficient and just extremely productive. This guy continues to be explosive for this offense. He continues to dominate. You are not going to stop him. I hate to break it to you. You're not going to fully stop Jonathan Taylor, but you can slow him down. You absolutely can slow Jonathan Taylor down. You can keep him from dominating this game, and we're going to get into that in just a minute. But when I think about domination, I think about the way Omaha Steaks dominates the meat industry. Guys, there just really isn't a better choice than Omaha Steaks when it comes to grilling, when it comes to cooking. And that is why they are always at the top of my holiday gifting lists. And when I'm doing holiday entertaining as well, when I'm having the family over for Thanksgiving, for Christmas, I got the parents coming in town for Christmas this year. You guys know I'm going to have the steaks on deck for the best Christmas dinner, not let those guys down. You know, they delivered a good 20 straight years of great Christmas dinners for me. I got to return the favor with the Omaha Steaks. And they offer unrivaled quality and variety, and every bite is backed by their 100% guarantee, guys. And right now is actually the perfect time to save on delicious gifts and holiday hosting favorites. Every steak is perfectly aged to maximize tenderness and hand-cut by master butchers in America's heartland. I've got an exclusive deal just for our Chiefs Report viewers. The Kingdom is going to get an extra $35 off with promo code CHIEFS at checkout. So save big on gourmet gifts and more holiday favorites with Omaha Steaks. Visit omahasteaks.com for 50% off site-wide with their Sizzle All the Way sale. And for an extra $35 off, use promo code CHIEFS at checkout. Terms to apply. See site for details. That's omahasteaks.com, promo code Chiefs. And another huge shout out to Omaha Steaks. We always appreciate them supporting the channel. Let's get back to Jonathan Taylor. Like I said, I'm not going to lie to you. You are not going to take Jonathan Taylor out of this game. It's kind of like going up against Kobe Bryant in the prime of his career. You just have to hope that you can slow the guy down. You just have to hope that you can avoid him taking over the game. But he's going to get his. He's going to have an impact on this. Like, it's the reality of dealing with a player of this caliber. However, he's gotten his in every game this year, and they haven't won every game this year. There are ways to beat the Indianapolis Colts, even with Jonathan Taylor being the guy that he is. But you cannot let him take over. He cannot stack 200 yards on us in this game. And I know everybody watching this knows, unfortunately, our defense is capable of giving up a game like that. But we got to lock in on this one. You cannot let him take over this, or it's going to be over before you know it if he just starts breaking off huge runs. Number 2, do not blitz Daniel Jones. Steve Spagnuolo, this whole section is for you. And we're going to get into it in just a second. But for everybody else, I want to know, who are you riding with in this game? Kansas City, get down there and type KC. That is what I expect to see dominating the comment section, not only because this is the Chiefs Report by Chat Sports, but also because this Colts team is not on our level, guys. I know. 8-2 record, 5-5. But the eye test just is not there with Indianapolis this year, especially over the last couple games. I think if you've been watching them, and especially if you've been watching us, you'll be typing KC. But, if you just can't get there, type IND. Go with the Colts if you absolutely must. But let me know, who are you riding with in the comments below. But like I said, Spagnuolo, I'm speaking directly to you. This whole section of the video, targeted at you, my friend. Don't blitz him. Please, please, please don't do it. I know you love to blitz. I know it is what you have made your career on. I know it's a huge part of your scheme. It's fundamental to what you do. But you're going to get burned if you do this. You are going to get killed. Daniel Jones has been murdering the blitz this season. Absolutely murdering it. Play action rate of 47.5%. As soon as he sees that pressure coming, he is changing the play. He is going to play action. He is burning you over the top. 845 yards, the highest yards per attempt of any quarterback in the NFL off of play action, the highest rate of play action of any quarterback in the NFL outside of the Rams' Matthew Stafford, and a 67, nearly 68% completion percentage on those snaps. He also has the second most yards off of play action. He's torching, and you got to break tendency. You cannot let him, you can't just walk into his trap. If we blitz the way we normally do, if we come out with the same game plan we've always had over the last couple of weeks, and I know I've been very supportive of Spagnuolo's blitzing strategy. It's worked at times. It will not work today. 30% blitz rate this season. That's what we do. We blitz at the 9th highest rate in the entire NFL. Sack rate, 5.8% off of that blitz rate, and a pressure rate of 33%. Both of those are in the bottom 4 in the NFL. You're blitzing at the 9th highest rate, and you can't get pressure at higher than the bottom 4 rate. It's struggling lately, especially. And we allow 7.3 yards per attempt when we blitz. So we're already not setting ourselves up for success when we blitz against passing plays. We have to avoid it against one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL when it comes to manipulating these situations. You have to resist the urge to send the house, Steve. I'm talking to you, my man. I'm going to say it again. Don't do it. Keep guys in their lanes. Stay home today. That is how you beat the Indianapolis Colts. You don't do it by coming after them with pressure. They burn you with play action. They burn you with Jonathan Taylor. And lastly, speaking of Jonathan Taylor, don't quit on our run game. And I know, I've been very critical of our run game at times this season. I really have. But I was so disappointed to see the way we quit on it in Week 12. And there's really no other way to describe it, or Week 11, excuse me. And there's really no other way to describe it than just absolutely quitting on the run. And why did we do that? It was working. It was there for us. Kareem Hunt, especially, he was playing really well. And if you go back to, and shout out Lance the Spoken on Twitter, because I didn't know this, and I was a little skeptical of it. I had to double check that it was true. But since 2024, postseason included, the Chiefs are 6-0 when Kareem Hunt gets more than 15 carries. He has not had a 15-plus carry game since the AFC Championship. Feed Kareem. And I absolutely agree. In the last 3 games, 33 carries for 148 yards, 3 touchdowns, almost 4.5 per carry. He's been good. When you give Kareem the ball, especially over the last couple when Isaiah hasn't been available, he's been really solid. But 11 carries per game is not going to cut it, especially when you won't give Brashard Smith the ball either. So if Isaiah can't come back this week, and if you still refuse to give Brashard Smith the football for God knows whatever reason, then Kareem Hunt has to cross the 15 carry mark. It's been too long. It's been too long since we've done it. I want to see Kareem get that kind of workload because I think it can open things up for Patrick Mahomes. We talk about how good the Colts can be off of play action. I think we can have some of that ourselves, but you can't set up play action deep shots if the run game is not existent. And that's exactly what happened to us in week 11. We got far too one-dimensional. Don't do it against the Colts. Do not. But I don't think we will. I think we'll stay two-dimensional. I think we'll be the kind of offense that can beat Indianapolis in week 12. And I think we'll do it 28-24. Let me know what you think in the comments. Drop those score predictions. Let me know who you think is going to win. And make sure you subscribe so you don't miss our takeaways video on Sunday evening. I've been Jackson Durham. You've been watching the Chiefs Report, and we will see you guys next time.